community-based organizations, certain governmental agencies, and the education sector as well. And this board makes policy decisions on how the money is spent. It assures that programs are working well and that, bottom line, the taxpayer gets an adequate return on his or her investment in job training.
Great. Well, what have been the major contributions of the Oakland PIC to the community?
We are very proud, perhaps proudest, of the diversity of our job training programs in Oakland. The PIC contracts with a wide variety of organizations in the community, from the American Viet League to the Career Resources Development Center to the Scotland Youth and Family Center in West Oakland. We contract with the Unified School District as well. What all of these organizations have in common is their ability to develop workers, to develop actual and potential workers in our community, regardless of their income status, regardless of age, regardless of condition or prior history. Just they do an excellent job in developing the human potential of Oakland's workforce. Last year, our programs served over 1,350 people, so we have that number of people in Oakland with brand new skills ready to work. Many of them, in fact, already are working.
Great, great. Well, with so much change going on in the economy, certainly jobs and careers is a major issue on people's minds. What is the PIC's vision for the future?
Well, the future, as you indicate, is very different from the past, and so the PIC feels that it's very important to be future-oriented. It's no secret, of course, that federal funding for these programs is diminishing, and that creates the challenge for us of making sure that our dollars are working very closely in a synergistic fashion with other dollars that also work to educate and train people. So we work really closely with the education system, with the vocational education system, with the vocational rehab system, and so on. Secondly, we want to make sure that these services are accessible to people who need them. And that is why we have taken the leadership to launch this one-stop career center in downtown Oakland to bring the services to the people in one location. And so this is a place where anyone can come and get good information, referrals, other kinds of resource information to help with the job search.
Great, great. Well, why did you decide to have this show?
Well, as we have indicated, finding a job these days is much more complicated than it used to be. In Oakland, the very basis of our economy has shifted dramatically over the last 20 years, from an industrial goods producing basis to one that is now service oriented, whether they be business services, health services, hospitality services, and so forth. So we have a very different kind of labor market structure. And it may shift again, who knows? You know, things are constantly in flux. The Department of Labor tells us, in fact, that we can expect to change careers from 4 to 5 times during our work lives. Not jobs, but careers. And so that is a daunting prospect and one that we feel we need to provide some assistance to our Oakland residents with. And so the purpose of this show is to reach a broader audience and to be able to help people navigate this rather complicated landscape.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And now, here's a resume tip that will help you get where you want to go. Stay tuned for On a Positive Note.
Would you please look at my resume?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. It's very long. Did you know an employer typically spends only 15 to 30 seconds scanning a resume? Take full advantage of this time by presenting yourself and your accomplishments positively. The goal of your resume is to get a job interview. How do you create a resume that meets this goal? Focus on the future. Rather than simply telling the employer what you did in the past, demonstrate on your resume how your accomplishments will make you successful on future jobs. Frame your experiences and skills in terms of what you want to do in the future, and you'll be well on your way to getting that job.
In the opening commercial, we showed you a video of a woman working in a non-traditional career. Her name is Stacy Rudisil, and she is an example of someone who has successfully completed the Women in Skilled Trades Training, a program of the Oakland Private Industry Council. Stacy is with us today to tell us about her experience of becoming a tradeswoman. Welcome, Stacy. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Good. First off, why don't you tell me, how did you first hear about the WIST, or Women in Skilled Trades program?
Well, I was attending a meeting at Chrysalis Women's Recovery Program, and a counselor by the name of Lorraine stopped me on the way out and said, I have a flyer and it's something you might be interested in. So I gave them a call to see what they were about.
Great. And so what gave you the idea that you might prefer going to school rather than going to get a job?
Well, I currently had a job, but I was making minimum wage, and I've been working minimum wage jobs for years, and I'm a single parent. So I needed a career and a future because minimum wage will not support me and my daughter.
Right, great. Well, what have you liked the most about your WIST program?
Well, they gave me a lot of hands-on in the carpentry, because we actually built the second story on a house on Myrtle Street in West Oakland. And we took weight training, which gave us upper body strength, and learned about carpentry and welding and electrical, so I can use it around my house as well.
Great. So how did your WIST training prepare you for the real world of construction work?
Well, the most important thing that we took life skills, which prepared us for sexual harassment and how to deal with a male-dominated, field. But unfortunately, I haven't had to deal with anything because I get along with everyone that I work with.
Okay, great. Can you tell me some of the any personal experiences you've had, or any particular adjustments you've had to make in getting into this field?
Well, I've been lucky because I'm pretty much the only woman on different work sites I go on, and all the journeymen and all the guys that I work with, they have taken the time to show me things and teach me, and each one of them has brought me a key to a different piece of equipment, so that was kind of good for me. I have keys to all the equipment on the work site. And as far as adjusting, I found out in just short time that I have to have the proper amount of rest. So I need to go to bed early because you have to be alert and aware because there's so much going on a work site. There's trucks and just a lot of movement. So you have to be, look out for yourself as well as other people around you.
Great. How long has it been since you first entered the WIST program until now?
Oh, it's about I guess a year. After I graduated from the WIST program, I was fortunate enough to go to a 5-week training program for operating engineers, and I graduated from there on August 19th, and I was working less than a week, and I've been working ever since.
Great, great. So what kind of advice would you give to women who might be interested in a non-traditional career?
I strongly advise it. If anyone would have the opportunity to attend something that could prepare them for their future or secure their future, I would highly advise it because it's about the best thing that I could have done in my life for me and my daughter.
Great. Well, thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
If you're a woman interested in a career in non-traditional work, call the WIST program at area code 510-208-7362.
Did you know that in 1945, the top 3 jobs for women were hairdresser, waitress, and secretary? Today, in 1996, the primary occupations for women are hairdresser, waitress, and secretary. Women remain concentrated in jobs that do not pay well or fully utilize their skills. Yet, throughout history, women have demonstrated that they can excel in non-traditional jobs, from carpenter to lawyer to firefighter. Non-traditional work for women is any job with 25% or less female participation. Many of these jobs offer excellent wages and opportunities to advance. Consider a non-traditional job. It might just be your best career move.
A lot of us wish there were one test we could take that would magically tell us what to do with the rest of our lives. Maybe you're about to graduate from high school or college, or you've been at your job for a while and you're ready for a new challenge. Or maybe you've been laid off from the job you've had for a long time. How do you start deciding what to do next? The bad news is there is no one test that will tell you what to do with the rest of your life. But the good news is there are many ways to start figuring out what you want to do next. Start by asking yourself, who am I? Let's divide this question into 3 parts: interests, skills, and values. First, we'll look at interests. Ask yourself, what do I like to do, starting with your job? What do you look forward to about doing your job? Maybe it's working with people, or writing reports, or computing numbers. Imagine a typical day on your job and consider what tasks you like the most. Now let's turn to what you enjoy doing outside of work. When thinking about career choice, consider what you do in all aspects of your life, not just those parts you get paid for. Sometimes your leisure activities are more interesting and meaningful to you than what you do for a living. Whether you play sports, do crafts, or volunteer for a good cause, consider how your activities outside of work could be reflected in your job. Now think about what you've always wanted to do. All our lives we dream about what we would do if only. If only we were older or younger or had more training or experience. These are called occupational daydreams, and they provide clues about what you might want to do next. Maybe you've always wanted to be a firefighter or a veterinarian or an architect. Consider occupational daydreams you've had and think about how each of them are similar. Next, we'll look at skills. Ask yourself, what am I good at? What do I do well that I want to use in my career? You acquire skills in several ways. First, through education and training, like earning a credential or gaining knowledge in a subject area. Second, as a result of attending school, you gain skills like how to do research and write analytically. Third, outside of the classroom. What have you learned to do on the job or as a volunteer? Now, which of these skills are transferable? Transferable skills are those you can use in more than one setting. Suppose you're a volunteer in your child's school and you coordinated the magazine sales for the school's fundraising event. The coordination and leadership skills you gained are transferable to many facets of the workplace. At this point, you probably realize you have 2 sets of skills: things you do well and enjoy doing, and things you're good at but don't like doing as much. Concentrate on the skills you enjoy using, because these will bring you the most satisfaction in your work life. Another set of skills you have are your personality traits. These are qualities that describe your character, such as being punctual, dependable, or a good leader. Knowing your personality traits can be useful when you want to change careers or advance in your current one. Your personal qualities demonstrate things like being able to work well under pressure. Finally, let's look at your values. These affect how you approach your work and your life. How do you define your values? Consider what's important to you, both on and off the job. Do you value teamwork? Do you strive to balance your work with the rest of your life? Do you like being recognized for a job well done? Your answers can help you start figuring out what you value. Today we've given you an introduction to defining who you are and what you want to do. If you'd like a list of the points we covered, please call 208-7362 and one will be mailed to you. We encourage you to continue career exploration. You can use books such as What Color is Your Parachute? Or do assessment tests, or talk with a career counselor. You can attend our free workshop series, which deals with questions like, who am I, and how do I market myself to employers? But the place to start is by asking yourself these 3 questions. What do I like to do? What am I good at? And what is important to me? And see where your answers lead you. Probably you'll come up with more questions, and eventually you'll find answers which will add meaning and fulfillment to your work life. Next time in the Job Search Toolkit, we will discuss the hidden job market. You know there are more jobs out there than those in the papers, but how do you find them? Tune in next time for tips about tapping into the hidden job market.
The Oakland Private Industry Council's One-Stop Career Center is conveniently located at 362 22nd Street in downtown Oakland. If your resume writing skills are just a little rusty, our career counselors are eagerly awaiting to assist you in your resume writing. In addition to that, we do have a representative from the Employment Development Department to assist you in your job search skills. So please give us a call at area code 510-208-7362 to find out information about the dates and times for our orientation so that you can take advantage of these services. And I'm sure you'll be glad that you did.
Okay, I'll do everything I can. Thanks for calling. Contrary to popular belief, there are plenty of jobs available in the Oakland area. As a matter of fact, employers call me daily with numerous job openings which they're unable to fill. My name is Brent Johnson, and I'm the business liaison for the Oakland Private Industry Council, and welcome to Who's Hiring You. My biggest challenge has been to find enough qualified applicants to fill the numerous job openings which we have on an ongoing basis. The employers, as well as my clients, are my customers, and my job is to be as responsive as I can to their needs. But to do this, I need your help. I need as many qualified applicants as possible to come down and look at our job orders to see which ones they're qualified for. These job orders and other job listings are kept on our job board. Let's go take a look. Here on our job board, we have several different types of job listings, the first of which is job announcements. These announcements are given to us by employers here in the Bay Area, and they're given to us just as they would appear at the local business. Here are just several of the typical announcements that we have here, which are updated on a weekly basis. There's a position for an executive assistant to the director at a local art museum. There's a data communications technician position for the county that has a salary of $3,900 to $4,800 monthly. A local radio station has a position for a promotion director. We have an outstanding outside sales opportunity for an entry-level position as an outside sales representative for Progressive East Bay Business Products Company. At a large Bay Area film company, there's a position for a manager of shipping and receiving. And lastly, there's a programmer analyst position at a large Bay Area university that pays up to $55,000 a year annually. Another type of job listing we have is called a job order. In this instance, an employer will call me personally to tell me about a position that they have available which they'd like me to screen applicants for. To be considered for these positions, all you need to do is come down to the Career Center with your resume and talk to me about any position that you feel you're qualified for. Here are some typical job orders which we have currently on our job board. There's an apprentice carpenter position for a large Bay Area construction company. There's an escrow accounting assistant at a title company here in the Oakland area. There are 25 service representative positions at a large telecommunications company here in the Bay Area that pays up to $17 an hour. And there's also a document processing supervisor position with a computer consulting placement agency that pays $30,000 annually plus incentives. Another option that you have here that's also listed on our board is the use of temporary employment agencies. This gives you an opportunity to get right out into the workforce and show an employer what kind of skills you have. It's also good at this time of year during the holidays to go into a temporary position because many of them turn into full-time permanent positions. Here at the Private Industry Council, I've interviewed numerous clients who've said that they didn't feel they had the marketable skills needed to compete in today's job market. This couldn't be further from the truth. I've talked to hiring managers and personnel directors at some of the top companies in the Bay Area, and they've told me that the most essential qualifications that an applicant can possess are dependability, punctuality, a good work ethic, and strong communication skills. If you possess these characteristics, you too are a viable candidate in today's job market, which is very encouraging. Here at the Career Center, we have numerous methods of helping you in your job search. All you need to do to receive our free services is attend an orientation, which are given twice weekly. For more information, call 208-7362. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you next time on Who's Hiring You.
你好 ，Oakland 職業介紹所同介職業介紹服務，委員 Oakland 市中心好提供職業介紹服務，職員提供履歷表寫同埋印履歷表，特別幫你揾份工。你介紹時頭，職業面試介紹練習，勞工處 Employment Development Department 幫你揾份工。Oakland Private Industry Council 地址喺362-22街 Broadway 及 West Grand 街。打電話111-891-9999 舊6 依舊黃先生幫你揾份工，自啲6以提供然後就業服務。多謝。
Well, as our show has come to a close, we've introduced you to the Oakland Career Center, and we invite you to come down to use our free services. We also invite you to write us with your specific questions about how to get that job or career that you want. Please send your cards or letters to the Career Marketplace, 362 22nd Street, Oakland, California, 94612. I'm Melbra Watts, your host, and on behalf of the Oakland Private Industry Council, we thank you for watching the Career Marketplace. Tune in next time. We'll see you soon.